Urgent, topical, timely. Power 98.7. Getting you talking about what matters.
Talking tech now in a Sawa, as we do on a Monday, and tech in our lives. So, now this is an interesting one, actually. It's quite a refreshing take on tech, the use of AI, artificial intelligence. PwC's 2025 Global AI Jobs Barometer reveals that the AI can make people more valuable, not less, even in the most highly automatable jobs. PwC analyzed close to 1 billion job ads from 6 continents to uncover AI's global impact on jobs, skills, wages, and productivity. Revenue growth in AI-exposed industries has accelerated sharply since 2022, the year that the launch of ChatGPT 3.5, that's when it awakened the world to AI's power. Since then, as companies have raced to leverage this technology, the value created in industries best positioned to use AI has skyrocketed. That's clearly great for businesses, but how is this rapid transformation affecting jobs? Let's speak to a tech expert joining us this evening. He is the CEO of Bantima IT, Shepherd Mpambela. Good evening, and thank you very much for your time.
Hi, good evening. How are you?
I'm very well. I trust you are well too.
I'm well, and good evening to your listeners too.
Okay, so this report sounds as if it's actually coming, it's a bit of an outlier in terms of its view on the impact of AI on the jobs market. Is it so, in fact?
I think it is so, because there have been different perspectives to how AI is going to impact jobs or how AI should impact jobs. And the common fear is that AI will replace people and people will lose jobs because of AI. But I think the opportunity really is that AI could augment what companies and individuals can do, boost their efficiency and boost productivity and incomes of companies. I think the report you make reference to that gives us to be having this discussion does point out that for Africa, for example, AI could unlock $60 to $100 billion annually, which would naturally flow to Africa's development, since we've got almost like a $500 billion deficit in terms of investment across Africa. So AI could actually unlock 20% of that deficit if we leverage it properly. So that would create more jobs in net terms, even at a macro level, if we think about it in that way.
Now, what is the secret though to ensure? I mean, why is it that there are? It seems to me it's more about an approach, whereas if it seems, why would people be taking any approach that seeks to undermine jobs or take away jobs from people, or rather saying, how do we use AI, as an enhancement tool or as an aid that will help people be more productive?
Yeah, absolutely. So there's principally, many ways that AI can impact us. From the first way being that you could use it, let's say, generative AI to shorten the time that you produce a piece of work or analyze a piece of work. And then there's agentic AI, which you can use to automate repetitive tasks and do those tasks and farm out those tasks to be done effectively by, call it software robots. And of course, there's AI that we can then apply in machines and other stuff that is probably coming further down the line, particularly if we're thinking in the African context. In other places, there's already AI, like humanoid robots and other different sort of like robots that are leveraging AI. So all of this is meant, I think, to augment what the human is potentially capable of doing. I always use the analogy that AI is like that you're a mountain climber and you want to reach the top of, let's say, Kilimanjaro or Mount Everest. Without AI, an assistant, someone who knows how to get to the top of Mount Everest, you could make it on your own, but it's much harder, much tougher, and you could, even fail to get to the peak. But with AI, you've got that shaper, that's the guy who knows the path and the route, the weather, the places to stop and rest and conditions and so forth. So AI makes us much more capable of achieving things that ultimately we have lived without it, so we could still continue to live without it. But now competitively, you can't compete with someone who's using tools like AI when you're not. So organizations, starting basically at an individual level, as well as going to organizations, we've got to come up with strategies of leveraging it. And the report that we're referring to talks to a lot of metrics and percentages and multiples that AI brings in various dimensions.
Now, what seems to be logical to me is like from the report when it says that industries more exposed to AI have 3 times higher growth in revenue per employee. That seems logical. But what does seem a little counterintuitive is the idea that wages are rising twice or 2 times faster in the most AI-exposed industries. It sounds counterintuitive because you're thinking that, AI is doing the work. Why would people be getting more money than in those kind of environments? How does it work?
Yeah. So the report does allude to say the wages for people who have AI skills have increased from 25%, I think, previous year, now to 56% in this year, which is
so it's about people who are skilled in the use of AI rather than people working in environments where AI is employed.
Yeah. Ultimately, people who are skilled, I think, if you can demonstrate your value, particularly with AI. So because I think one term that has been used to describe AI is that it's a force multiplier.
Yes.
Those who are maybe understand or being from a military background will understand that a force multiplier. Someone like a sniper is called a force multiplier because it's one person, but they do the job or work of several soldiers. Their capability and skills allow them to execute, functions that maybe you need.
Did you serve in the military, Shepherd?
Pardon?
Did you serve in the military?
No, not at all. I just study military books, sometimes around strategy, but no, not at all.
No.
I've been in IT all my life, and it's coming to 26 years of being an IT practitioner.
Fair enough. Okay. So now, this is also something very important to actually consider. Just speak a little bit more to us about these, the people who are trained in AI, as you say. What kind of training exists out there when we talk about it? Because, of course, if you go into social media, there's every man and his dog offering courses on AI.
Yeah, they've decided to make money that way. That's one way. So there's, I think last year, and maybe a lot of those trainings that are being offered, they hover around the concept of prompt engineering, which is basically how best can you tell AI what you want it to do, what you want done, so that it does the best job that it can do for you. But now that also is changing. There's now a concept that's evolved from prompt engineering to context engineering. So meaning that you've got to, design the context that you want AI to work on and feed it more information that is close to the, basically like a recipe book, if you want, to feed that recipe into the AI prompt, and so that's at a basic level the use of AI, which is basically an interaction with a GPT or a Gemini or Midjourney, which produces those AI videos or AI images. But there's also now something even more new, not really new, but where people are getting more and more into as they understand AI, which is agentic AI. So agentic AI basically is the first word suggests is the creation of an AI agent that executes a piece of work leveraging AI. And it can either come back with questions or just execute based on a basic input. So agentic AI is, I think, turning out to be quite valuable in certain instances, as it automates certain tasks, and you can schedule it to say run this agent every minute or every hour, and so forth and so forth. So, for example, earlier I was seeing a guy marketing his agent that goes onto Facebook Marketplace, looks for certain deals for certain cars, and negotiates the price, and eventually offers a low price, and then provides the deals that are viable to the owner of the agent after it's done a long whittling down process, including the initial negotiation. So that makes sort of like a much more efficient way of doing things that would have taken a lot of effort, or that come with a lot of tedium.
Yeah. I've got to say, and as far as if ever they were saying jobs for the future or a career path that is now in vogue, it sounds to me like, what the report was saying is like workers with AI skills command a 56% wage premium, which is up 25% from last year. That is impressive. I don't know how many other industries can boast similar numbers.
Yeah, no, not many, because I think what is easy to demonstrate these days, especially with AI, is particularly if it's work that translates to a rand or dollar at the end, it's easy to demonstrate to your principals that, well, I was doing this work and you were only getting, 100 rand after a whole day's work. But guess what? Now I've implemented agents, and the work that I used to be able to do in 8 hours, I can do it in 30 minutes. Now I'm doing literally a month's work almost in one day. Like those agents, that negotiation agentic AI that I was referring to. Imagine it runs every 30 minutes, and it negotiates to the purchase of 20, 30, 40 cars. If you're a car salesman or buyer and a salesman, you multiply by 100 the vehicles that you can find and buy and offer back for sale in a very short space of time. So the revenue that the business will see coming from your effort will definitely be make it easy to negotiate for, your value becomes very apparent. So perhaps maybe even the 50% wage increase is modest when you think about the value that potentially someone can bring to their organization if they've got the right and they're using the right AI for their job, as it were.
So, again, I was wondering also, to your point, you say when you're saying it's quite 56%, maybe just quite modest. I think it's also maybe worth factoring in the fact that this is actually coming off a low base.
Yes, absolutely, yeah. That's quite possible.
And just about when it comes to adoption, we clearly as Africa, as a continent, we stand to benefit the most in terms of how AI can enhance so many aspects of our lives. But what is the level of uptake, and especially governments into trying? What roles are government playing, or are they playing their part? Maybe I should put it that way, in trying to maximize on the potential of AI.
Yeah. So maybe current state of adoption. If I can summarize the report in around the areas of adoption, let's say 40%, 40+% of African institutions have begun experimenting or implementing AI solutions. And the digitally mature sectors, which is technology, telecommunications, and financial services, are leading that adoption. And then Africa's digital economy is expected to grow from 5.2% of GDP in 2025 to 8.5% by 2050. So the constraints, I think, for adoption, again, access to technology, the right technology, access to internet, and so forth. But for the first time, maybe I need to also just share this perspective. For the first time, some technologies have kind of only hit us, the Doppler effect of them. They've only come at us when they've been fully adopted and used elsewhere, and we become sort of like laggards or late adopters in the process. But I think the AI revolution is kind of that wave has hit us also, maybe not at the same time, because we should be up there innovating, developing our own models and so forth, as much as there's models developed in the US and then there's models developed in China. We should have also seen, different our academic institutions and startups building also their own IP around that. So maybe we're not there yet, but in terms of actual adoption in use and trying to make sense of it, we already have people experimenting with it and so forth. I happen to be part of the people who are building agents. Just this last Friday, we spent the day with my alma mater, IBM, and they are partners now that I'm in business. I've gone back and partnered with IBM on data and AI. So even yours truly is still straddling between the experimentation side and implementation with customers, because we're also speaking to customers that are adopting AI, whether it's from just chat GPT style in use of documents and documentation, as well as going into agentic AI, meaning this process replacement or process augmentation. So we are up there in the thick of things relating to that. So adoption is, for a change, we're not too far behind. I think that's the point I'm trying to make.
Okay.
And
that's encouraging.
if we latch onto it and keep at it, it's going to be probably one of the first technologies that we will be not too far behind the rest of the world in terms of adoption and use.
It's very interesting, actually, to hear you say that. And I was wondering something that you just said, about us tending to be late adopters. I suppose, like everything else in tech, the real breakthrough, I guess, if I could call it that, or the gold, to put it in that way, is really in the innovation. That's where the value really lies. That's what I'm actually looking for.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
So it's not about getting a ChatGPT, but it's about coming up with something that's going to do better than ChatGPT.
Yeah. Yes. I think the beauty of AI also is that a lot of the IP has been open sourced, particularly coming out of the China foundries of AI. They initiated the open sourcing of some of very powerful models that you are able to actually implement and run, and even have source code that you can manipulate and change and tweak according to. So we also have the opportunity to take that IP and model it and change it, because the people who really did foundational work around this AI is companies. Again, I'll sell my alma mater, IBM. It's companies like IBM that started on this AI journey decades ago, and that foundational work got sort of like borrowed into Google. Google developed a lot of work that became adopted by OpenAI and became what we know as ChatGPT today, and so forth and so forth. So we now also have opportunity, and that's also the other thing that I forgot to mention, that we're sitting at the verge of also being right there, not far from the table where the things are being done, because the open source of AI models are available to us as well. It's not other technologies that came to us as black boxes, which is, I think, part of what I like most about the global competition that has happened around AI. Others have produced and said, okay, here's a better model, and it's free and it's open source, and you can take it and use it as you wish. While someone was sitting in some corner saying, here's a model, pay me, it's accessible, but via behind the paywall, pay first, and so forth and so forth. So the ability for some sectors of the global East, particularly in offering very powerful models for free with open source available, have made the rest of us at least access very powerful technologies, and we can customize them for our own use in our own context here in Africa.
Well, listen, on that really positive note, I would like to leave it and say thank you so much to Shepherd Mpambela, CEO of Bantima IT, talking to us about, well, this PwC report that is found that AI jobs, it's an AI Jobs Barometer, reveals that AI can make people more valuable. So thank you so much, Shepherd, for your time. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. Next time we speak, remind me, there are 5 use cases that IBM implemented and saved $3.5 billion last year across the organization.
Oh, wow.
So we can, it's a real world use case where they took 5 use cases, implemented. One was around the HR, where each employee of IBM just has a chatbot that they can ask from what's my salary, when am I getting paid, what should I expect to be getting paid, this, the questions that you ask HR, or you phone or send an email to HR to ask, or look for a HR business partner to say, what's my leave, the time that it takes to log in.
Yeah.
So that was one. I think they've got two sales ones, one procurement and IT. So IT tasks, how do I do this and that and that? They had anticipated to save $2 billion, but they ended up saving $3.5 billion across IBM.
Right.
So it's a real life use case of an organization that's implemented only just five use cases. And
that's fantastic. Listen, I'm going to put you back to our producer, Vano, and I'm sure you can just swap details, and we can we'll arrange. Well, you don't need to swap details because we already know how to get a hold of you. So we can arrange a follow-up on this. I'd be interested in hearing more about that. That's
absolutely
like real-life applications to this tech.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can delve into that.
No, fantastic. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And good night. That's Sherpad Mpambela. He's a tech expert, CEO of Bantima IT. So, we will definitely do that follow-up with him. I'd love to hear about these real applications of his technology. That's actually meant to change people's lives. So let's see about how it actually happens in action.